These guys on the road to MotoGP, FAB-Racing, one of the official partners of the British Superbikes, and these riders will all be hoping of putting themselves on that very famous grid in just a few short years' time, and what a better place to do it than by starting in FAB-Racing. And it's going to be the first race and round of the season for them here at the Mini GP70s. We've got Jonny Garness on pole with Josh Bannister alongside him. We're ready to go green to start the race. Engine notes are rising and we're off and underway. It's a good start from the poleman who leads into turn one behind Josh Bannister, files into second place, and it looks as though everyone's cleanly through the first. It
looks as though Lucas Brown has now made his way up into second place, so that's Josh Bannister down to third now. So it'll be interesting to see what Lucas Brown can do about Jonny Garness. We saw in many races last year in the LC40 Elites, Garness was just able to break away at the front and then just control the pace. So we could see something very similar happening here.
Yep.
He's already got a very hefty lead as we go onto the back straight now ahead of Lucas Brown. It looked as if Josh Bannister was trying to attack into the final corner, so it'll be interesting to see if he managed to make that move stick. Garness already with a big lead ahead of Lucas Brown.
Yeah, perfect start for Jonny Garness. He is already starting to make a breakaway and show just the exactly why we saw the pace from him in qualifying with that 0.6 of a second gap. So yeah, it's been a good start from him. He is up there and doing a stellar job. Josh Bannister is in second position, and we've got Clayton Edmonds showing up in third place.
Yeah, it looks as if Lucas Brown isn't quite showing up on our timing screens at the moment, but I think that's the Jonny Garness still leading there from Josh Bannister is in third place, and Casey O'Gorman now making his way up the field as well. He started at the back of the grid in this race, so he'll be one to watch. Very fast rider is Casey O'Gorman. We just saw him in the race just gone, so he might be a little bit tired from that last race, but he's not showing it at the moment as he sets one of the fastest laps of the race. Yeah,
absolutely, and that looks like that was a position change there with Josh Bannister going up the inside into the hairpin at the back end of the circuit. So Josh Bannister getting up past, I believe, Lucas Brown. So really good move there from Josh Bannister, getting the move back done, and we're back, and it's now timing screens are changing in front of us. It's now showing Casey Gorman in second position. So
that's Casey O'Gorman now up into third spot. Jonny Garness isn't showing up on our timing screens at the moment, but we can assure you he is leading this race. Casey O'Gorman now up into second spot as he just loses it, runs a little bit wide, and Lucas Brown has a look but doesn't quite make it stick. So Casey O'Gorman now up into second spot. Can he do anything about Jonny Garness?
You were just saying about the fact that we've just seen Casey in the Extreme 200s. What's that like, going onto a completely different bike almost immediately? So is it a different kind of ride style? Is it a different kind of racing?
Almost definitely. I mean, the position for a start will be completely different. He was just on a more pit bike style bike, and now he's on more of a sort of GP style little race bike. So definitely, it's not the easiest thing to adapt, but I'm sure he's used to it at this point. He's been riding. He was riding both bikes on the Friday earlier on this weekend, so I'm sure he'll have been training for that, and this will definitely be good training for him back-to-back race simulations.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure in the sun it's going to be nice and warm for him. So he's now you can see Jonny Garness leading by almost 4 seconds, and we're only a couple of laps into this one, so 7 laps left to go. He's already got almost a 5-second gap. He's just dropped down to 3.8 with Casey O'Gorman in second place ahead of Lucas Brown, 5.1 seconds behind the race leader Jonny Garness. Josh Bannister is chasing down Lucas Brown, the number 2 chasing down the number 29. Those two have been battling the majority of this one. Josh, after dropping off of second on the grid, now finds himself in fifth. So once again, falling down through the pack that we saw earlier on in the morning. So yeah, he's going to look at coming back, and a bit of work to do for Josh. He's got Lucas Brown ahead of him, but the gap It's around about 0.2 of a second between the pair at the moment. A lot of work to do though if he's to close in on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a good battle between these two. Between third and fourth, Lucas Brown and Josh Bannister, and that'll definitely heat up as we go on between this race. It just looks like Josh is struggling to get past him at the moment, but perhaps he's got something planned for later in the race. He will have to obviously bear in mind that Casey O'Gorman isn't sticking around for the full season, and so it will be a third place will almost be like a second for Josh Bannister at the moment, or Lucas Brown.
Yeah, absolutely so. And so yeah, plenty of moves left to be done. We've got halfway through this one, 6 laps left to go in the first race of the season for the Mini GP70s here at FAB-Racing. Of course, welcome to everyone if you're joining us for the live stream and you're joining us on fab-racing.co.uk.
Sorry to interrupt, but it just looks like Josh Bannister is signalling something and he's dropping pace now, so I don't know if there's some sort of technical issue for Josh Bannister. He was just waving an arm onto the back straight and then onto the front straight after, so I'm not sure if we're going to see some sort of technical problem from him. We might have to keep an eye on that one, as he is dropping back. He's already dropped 0.6 behind Brown and possibly even further now. Yeah,
and once again, disaster for Josh Bannister, who we saw unfortunately have an issue in his first race today. So yeah, once again, if that is the case and he's starting to drop back, that's
although it does look like he's right back on the back of Lucas Brown there, so I'm not sure what that problem was. He did have his arm in the air for along the back and front straight, but he's right on the back of Lucas Brown now. He's definitely got some pace because he was able to just close that gap right back down.
Yep, so as you say, back on the pace, hopefully closing in on Lucas Brown for third position. He's still staying with him, and the two riders battling it out. And
if you look there, sorry to interrupt again, if you look there, it just looks like the belly pan of Josh Bannister's flapping around a little bit. I think he's got a loose, the bottom plastics on his bike there are just coming loose, so I think that's possibly, you can see it flapping around there as he goes through the complex, so I think that's probably what he was signalling, but he's just riding through the problems now. Also, someone we can't discard is Mason Foster. He's looking very strong. He's closed these guys in, and we saw how strong he could be earlier on in the day.
Yeah, great move there from Josh Bannister with the damage to the bike into third position there, up the inside into the penultimate corner, and as you say, with the damage to the bodywork of that bike, it's not phasing him, and he's still on the pace. But of course, with that plastic bodywork flapping around, that's the last thing you want at the moment.
No, absolutely. The last thing you want in a race is any sort of distraction. But he's doing a really good job to just keep his head down, ride through the problem. He'll definitely be hearing that scraping around, be feeling it flapping around on the straights. Yeah, difficult situation for Josh Bannister, but he's coping with it brilliantly.
If you're Josh Bannister and you're in this position where you know that there's something wrong, you don't quite know what it is, because obviously he's not really looking down at it unless he's on one of the back straights. Is it just staying on the track? He doesn't want to go anywhere near any of these curbs where you might find that plastic pickup with the grooves in the curbs. He's
definitely got to be careful of what lines he takes. If he takes, gets anywhere close to a curb that's slightly too high and could knock it, could even force him offline, or could cause some problems for him. So he's doing a good job to ride around it. He can feel whereabouts the belly pan will be scraping on the ground, and he's doing a good job to still carry quite a lot of lean angle. So he's riding brilliantly around this problem.
Yep. But one man that is doing a great job at the front is Jonny Garness, who's got a sizable 4-second gap over Casey O'Gorman in second place. Jonny doing all he needs in this first race to lead from the flag to the flag. Just we're on the last lap, and so Trystan, take us home, as Jonny Garness looks like he's going to be taking a dominant victory.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant ride from Jonny Garness. We've seen him do it in the past in other classes, and now he's doing it again here. Very impressive stuff. Also impressive ride from Casey O'Gorman, who we were just looking at now. But it is Jonny Garness who was the man to beat today. A really nice 4-second lead. So absolutely brilliant ride for him as he comes to cross the line very shortly and takes the win. That is Jonny Garness, who's taken the win in this race ahead of ex-GP70 champion Casey O'Gorman. Josh Bannister, it's Lucas Brown who took third place ahead of Josh Bannister. Bannister possibly suffering from the problems he was facing there with that loose belly pan. Mason Foster it was who takes fifth place. Good ride from him, a good pace we saw from him. Unfortunately wasn't able to make any challenge for the podium, but I'm sure he'll be happy with fifth place. So yeah, brilliant ride from Jonny Garness.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see he's absolutely elated on the bike, waving arms up in the air, absolutely delighted with his first round of the season. And what a stellar way to start off your 2020 season by picking up a victory by a pretty decent margin, 3.3 seconds across the line to Casey O'Gorman. And you can see there are your top 10 finishers. It's Jonny Garness in first. In second was Casey O'Gorman. Lucas Brown finishes in third. Josh Bannister, he pipped on the final lap to fourth place. Mason Foster was trying to hold on, couldn't quite get past. Clayton Edmonds made it up to sixth. Ben Jolliffe in seventh. Harrison McKay in eighth. Holly Harris moving up she held in ninth actually, sorry. So Holly holding on to ninth, and Greg Marshall in 10th place. So he held on to 10th as well. So that means that Felix Doring finishes just outside of the top 10. But absolutely superb start to the season for Jonny Garness. You could see on the screen just how happy he was with that one.
To see if he can catch Jonny. There's still 8 laps to go in this race, so anything can happen. We do know how consistent Jonny Garness can be, and he really sets a good pace out the front there. So a tall order from Casey, but definitely not impossible.
No, absolutely not. And we'll see the gap does look like it's closed somewhat over the last lap, but still relatively comfortable lead for Jonny Garness. Casey O'Gorman in second. Josh Bannister is still closing in on Lucas Brown for third place, and Josh will be looking for a slightly better result after a few issues in the first race for him. This is race 2 of 3 for the MK GP70s, and we'll be heading into race 3 very shortly for the AC4C Pros, and they will be heading up after this one. So plenty of action throughout the rest of the day here in Lydd on the southeast coast of England as we open the first of 2 rounds here this weekend. Round 1 today, round 2 with a bumper 24 race day, and so yeah, a lot of action going on circuit, and at the moment it's Jonny Garness that's taking it absolutely in his stride as he's streaking down the back straight with Casey O'Gorman chasing in.
Just currently looking at this battle for 5th place, Mason Foster has managed to get through these guys, take 5th place, and he's absolutely on a mission now. He's completely gapping these guys in 5th place, and Edmonds, McKay and Jolliffe can't quite keep with his pace, so he might be one to look out for, and maybe could have something to say about Josh Bannister and Lucas Brown in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just looking at the lead battle, and Casey O'Gorman took half a second out of Jonny Garness on that last lap and sets the fastest lap of the race with 41.675, half a second faster than Jonny Garness's best lap of a 42 flat. So both drivers on the limit, but it seems Casey is ever so... Oh, it just
looks like we're having some problems there for the number 46 rider there. Can't quite make out who that is.
You can see
that's the number 146. That's Clayton Edmonds, who was just having a few problems there. But back with the battle for second and third. That's third and fourth. That's Brown and Bannister just swapping positions there.
Yeah. Lap traffic becoming a bit of an issue for a couple of the riders up front, as we saw one of them getting a little bit out of shape on the exit of turn 2, but now back onto pace. But yeah, you can see the lead battle still closing in as Jonny Garness.
Sorry, it's just got distracted there by Josh Bannister just having a cheeky look up the inside of Lucas Brown. This battle for third's really hotting up at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So battles going out on track all over the place. We've still got the lead battle. We've got Lucas Brown and Josh Bannister still going at each other, and behind there's still close battles between Harrison McKay and Ben Jolliffe. They were separated by 0.8 of a second. Equally, Holly Harris closing in on Jacob Stevenson for 8th place. So all these riders looking at making up some positions in race 2, looking to race 3 in a couple of hours time. You can see that gap now between Jonny Garness and Casey O'Gorman is really starting to close in. It was 1.1 second last lap, and they're looking much closer as they come up to the final 2 corners of the lap. This time Casey really starting to put the pressure on.
Yeah, Garness maybe in with for some trouble here from in the form of Casey O'Gorman putting in some blistering pace. Only one in the 41s in this whole race, so yeah, brilliant stuff from Casey O'Gorman, just closing down Jonny Garness. Be interesting to see what Jonny can do if Casey does catch him, because we have seen how comfortable Jonny is out in the front of a race, leading, putting a consistent pace in, but very rarely do we see him in a scrap. So it'll be very interesting to see what he can do there. 3 laps to go in this Mini GP70 class. It's the elite class for these young riders. Their last chance at a championship before they move up to the big tracks, probably to the British Talent Cup. Casey O'Gorman has already moved to the British Talent Cup. He's done his testing. He's done very well, but at the moment he's got his sights set on Jonny Garness, and he's just figuring out where he can get past now. He's right on the rear wheel of Jonny Garness, so it'll be it's only a matter of time, I think, before O'Gorman lands a move. 2 laps to go for these guys then.
Yep, absolutely so. And Casey O'Gorman has been taking about half a second out of race leader Jonny Garness over the last 3 laps, and he's now got himself well within striking range, and he's going to be coming round to the last lap, and he's going to need to think about making a move if he is to unseat Garness for the race win. They come across the line to start the final lap. And it is
very strong. Sorry to interrupt there, but 2 very strong laps from these guys, both in the 41.3s, a lot faster than we've seen already. So Jonny Garness is trying to respond to the sheer pace that Casey O'Gorman has at the moment.
Yeah, just having a look, there is a little bit of lap traffic further up, but it feels like it might not reach it by the end of this lap. So luckily for Jonny, he can probably focus on this last part of the race. But you can see the battle still going on for the lead, and Casey in a really good position now.
It's got to be the last corner.
This is going to be a really good move. He's right in the toe. Can he send it down into penultimate corner? It doesn't look like it so far.
He's on the inside.
Up between the two and down.
Oh, and he's down.
Down goes O'Gorman.
Right on top of Jonny Garness's bike there. Nasty incident for Casey O'Gorman. He's gone into the fence. That is not the way Casey O'Gorman wanted to finish that race. He was desperate to get that race win. Unfortunately, crashed out in some fashion. We hope that he's okay there.
So yeah, it's we'll see. It's as we look towards the AC40 pros who will be next out on circuit, and the AC40 enjoyed a pretty stellar morning for those guys. The first 2 races we saw Ethan Sparks picking up 2 wins. Really good job from him. Josh Williams equally doing quite a good job. Started on pole position and unfortunately dropped back behind Ethan, but Ethan has been impressing in multiple races today.
Absolutely, yeah. Ethan's having a really good day today, picking up championship points all over. 2 race wins in this category puts him in a great place. And then obviously 2 second places from Josh Williams, the Racecraft rider development, one of the Racecraft rider development riders. So good stuff from both of those guys.
Absolutely so. And so it's going to be a brilliant weekend racing, and we're expecting round 1. It's the final afternoon. We've got plenty of racing left to go for the rest of the afternoon. All the riders head their way to the grid and get ready for the final race of the day.
Yeah, should be a very interesting one, this one. Jonny Garness, who's taken 2 wins from 2 so far, was pushed right to the end by Casey O'Gorman, who's starting from the back of the grid, who we just saw in the Extreme 200 race. Closed right in on Jonny Garness at the end, tried to make a move at the last corner, unfortunately came together with Jonny Garness and didn't finish the lap. But these riders all looking to the flag now as they go away. A few riders lifting front wheel in the background, but it's Lucas Brown who goes into second place. Jonny Garness holds his lead. Brilliantly done there with Jonny Garness. You could just see in the background there Casey O'Gorman flying through the field, already quite high up there, just in shot there, the red bike with the blue and red leathers. Just having a look there at the riders in front. Josh Bannister's fallen back a bit there. You can just see Mason Foster as well there on the livery, very similar livery to his GP50 machine. Jonny Garness then already with quite a hefty lead as we head into the final corner for the first time of asking. He's going to be trying to get away as quickly as he can to make sure that he's not caught by Casey O'Gorman. Casey O'Gorman now up into 3rd spot, just behind Lucas Brown. You're going to have to think it's only a matter of time before Casey O'Gorman finds his way through Lucas O'Brown and tries to make his way forward to Jonny Garness. And there it is, Casey O'Gorman up the inside of Lucas Brown into the top right-hander as they go over the crest for the second time into the little complex before they head onto the back straight. 0.8 of a gap it was across the line, Garness over Brown. Be interesting to see now what Casey O'Gorman can do about that gap to Jonny Garness.
Yep, absolutely. Great start there for Jonny Garness, holding on to the lead of the race. Lucas Brown in second position. Casey O'Gorman now moves up into second place, passing Lucas Brown. So Casey now on hunt for this win, and he's now going to be chasing down Jonny Garness. And Jonny looking for a hat-trick of victories today, and the perfect way to start your season here in GP70s. And it's going to be a lot of hard work, because we saw Casey O'Gorman in a previous race possibly taking it a little bit easier to perhaps put the pressure on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he gave it absolutely everything, did Casey, in that last race, and it looks like he's giving it absolutely everything now, because he looks to be definitely closer. It was 0.9 over the line, but that's definitely not point line as we go over the line again. The gap is now down to 0.4, so Casey O'Gorman right on the back wheel now of Jonny Garness. Has got a few more laps to play with now, doesn't have to go for that lunge at the last corner like we saw in the last race. So Garness now is going to have to be very, very careful about Casey O'Gorman. But of course Garness is also going to be thinking about the long run. He's in this championship right to the end. Casey O'Gorman isn't going to be in this championship right to the end, so I think Garness is going to be more thinking about his championship results. There's no need to risk anything trying to beat Casey, but at the same time you're going to be thinking he's going to want to prove a point.
Yeah, exactly. It's taking the racer away from the rider and thinking about your championship. And if Casey can get ahead, just stay with him and use him to pull you along and pull away from the rest of the field. You can see they've already got a huge 3.5 second gap over Lucas Brown, so these two clearly ahead of the field and managing to put in some really decent opening laps. So yeah, Jonny Garness, he's got his hands full at the moment with Casey O'Gorman, but as you say, yeah, it's all about playing the long game, the smart game, and but we know that Casey O'Gorman, if he sees an opportunity like we saw in race 2, he will go for it, whether it comes off or not.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Casey's here. He doesn't have a great deal to lose. He's here for a bit of training, a bit of fun, and he's taking obviously his racing very seriously. He was absolutely giving it everything he had in that last race. It looks as if he's doing the same now. Perhaps boxing slightly clever now. He's spent a good lap or so behind Garness now, so he's just having a look at him, seeing where he can get by, and trying to make a move stick when he does make it.
Absolutely. Last race of the day here for round 1 of the FAB-Racing 2020 Minibikes British Championships from Lydd, and it is Jonny Garness for the Mini GP70s leading the race to Casey O'Gorman in second, and these two had a mega battle in race 2, and we'll see if it continues into this one. Behind we've got Lucas Brown in third place with Ben Jolliffe up in fourth. Joshua Bannister is in fifth place, and behind him is Foster and Clayton Edmonds. So yeah, it's you can see the battle between Edmonds and McKay is around about a second and a half behind, in front of them. Sorry, Foster and Bannister are really taking it to Jolliffe now. The gap between the three is only 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, so possibly a good battle heating up there for fourth spot, and could, if they really get the hammer down, could catch Lucas Brown and make that a battle for third, but perhaps a little bit of a tall order to bridge that 1.2 second gap.
As Casey O'Gorman still trying to close in on Jonny Garness. The gap was only 0.2 of a second at the end of that last lap, so the pressure is on, the temperature is rising, and it's all about Jonny Garness. Like we said, just playing it safe here. Of course, every single racer wants to finish first, and but of course, to finish first you have to finish. So it's all about staying on the bike and playing it safe, and with Casey O'Gorman chasing him down, he's definitely going to want to get on with his race, in case he's got a really good run on him now down into the penultimate corner, not quite close enough, and perhaps after their contact in race 2 is Casey a little bit more tepid in the way, in places that he puts his bike.
Yeah, I mean, he's got more time to think about it now. It was at the end, it was very much a case of Casey catching Garness last minute, and desperate to get through. But Casey now has got a chance to just have a look at Jonny, have a look where Johnny's strong, have a look where Johnny's weak, and have a look at where Casey thinks is the best place for him to make a move and make a move stick, which is the more important part.
Yep, these two still battling out for the race win. It seems as they've gapped a mammoth 8.7 seconds over Lucas Brown. Mason Foster and Josh Bannister battling out over 5th place at the moment, with Mason Foster closing in on Josh Bannister for 5th. And these guys all still going at it for all positions, so everyone wanting to pick up as many points as possible to finish off the first day in the first round of the season here. And you can see positions are likely to change still, but it's now up at the front, Jonny Garness only by 0.18 of a second, so that gap is coming down and down with each lap.
You've just got to be starting to think and wondering where Casey is going to make that move. We've seen him make a move many times in this race at the top bend, the hairpin there, but and then we've seen him have a look at the last corner just like he is now, but it will be interesting to see where he tries to make that move stick.
And yeah, you can see Casey O'Gorman trying to unsettle Jonny Garness at the front. Just looking to the inside, and you can see he's got the inside line. Is that position? It is. So there's a change for the lead. And it's O'Gorman that's managed to get past Garness and into the exit of turn 5. And great move there. And it's now Casey O'Gorman that leads this race from Jonny Garness.
Very, very clean move there from Casey. You can tell he had a good few laps to figure it out. He got it done nice and cleanly, and just about managed to make that move stick as they head into the final corner once more, heading onto the home straight. Casey O'Gorman it is that still leads. We've got a rider down there. That's the number 86 of Felix Dorling, unfortunately out of this race. Terrible end to the race for him. He's getting his bike wheeled away there. He's looking at his bike in despair. Not the way you want to finish this race at all. Last lap it is then for these guys. Casey O'Gorman leading Jonny Garness on this final lap. Can Jonny do anything about Casey O'Gorman at the front? They're going to come through a back marker now. Will this play a part in it? They're catching him on the back straight. Jonny Garness just doesn't look as if he's close enough at the moment. They both get under the back marker nice and cleanly, but I think it's going to be Casey O'Gorman who takes this win. The final race of the weekend goes to Casey O'Gorman. Jonny Garness taking a good 20 points in second there. It will be Jonny Garness that has the championship lead at the end of this with 2 wins and a second place now. So a brilliant round 1 for Jonny Garness.
Yeah.
Lucas Brown then it is that takes 3rd place ahead of Ben Jolliffe and Josh Bannister. So a brilliant race for all of these guys, all absolutely giving it everything, but it is Casey O'Gorman who comes out victorious in this one. Just trying to do a little bit of a wheelie there was Casey O'Gorman. Brilliant ride from Jonny Garness as well, so and he'll be very happy with that for the championship.
Yep, very, very strong day for Jonny Garness there. 2 wins and a second place, and it is Casey O'Gorman that takes the victory just by 0.2 of a second to Jonny Garness. Lucas Brown finishes on the podium in 3rd with Ben Jolliffe in 4th, Josh Bannister in 5th with Mason Foster in 6th, Clayton Edmonds in 7th with Harrison McKay in 8th. And then back in 9th, we've got Greg Marshall, and we've got Jacob Stevenson rounding out the top 10 for the races in Mini GP70. And that ends the day's racing here in Lydd. And it's been a fantastic day, and yeah, what a way to finish it with Casey O'Gorman taking that victory, really pushing hard to get finally past Jonny Garness and taking that victory and just snapping that. I'm sure that Jonny Garness desperately wanted that hat-trick of wins.